Hello, everyone. Today we will be looking at how we can revolutionize building demand peak management through our program, Connect. Specifically, our team will be focusing on how we can empower individual building operators through the strategic utilization of building management systems and artificial intelligence. Next, please. Before we dive deeper into our project, I'd like to quickly introduce our team. My name is Jake, and along with Leland, Christine, Amira, Didi, and Emmanuel, we are each bringing unique perspectives from diverse disciplines to tackle the issue of high greenhouse gas emissions during peak demand head-on. Next, please. As urban populations continue to surge, the parallel problem of ensuring efficient and sustainable energy use within commercial and residential buildings becomes increasingly crucial. Building energy demand represented around 27% of global emissions in 2022, as reported by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2023. During peak demand hours, overall electricity consumption spikes, often exceeding the capacity of cleaner, more efficient energy sources like renewable energy, i.e. hydro or nuclear for Ontario. To meet this sudden surge in demand, utilities may rely on backup power plants, which are typically fossil fuel-based, like coal, oil, or natural gas. With climate change exacerbating this problem through more extreme temperature shifts and heat events, building systems that can reduce the load on Ontario's power grid are becoming essential. Natural Resources Canada has stated, quote, "The high-performance buildings of tomorrow will adjust how they function in response to how their equipment is operating, the energy consumption their systems predict, and the peak energy load scenarios in their respective locations." In the fight against relying on fossil fuel-based energy options, building operators and managers lack the tools to efficiently and effectively reduce their building's energy demand during peak times and don't have immediate access to predictive modeling on when these peaks are expected to occur. Next, please. To solve this ever-expanding building energy demand problem and to help building operators and managers have a real impact on reducing building energy demand, our solution is Connect, a streamlined application offered on Mac, iOS, and Windows that connects to building management systems and can directly control and optimize the power consumption of building amenities to induce tangible energy and cost savings. Building operators can remotely implement power reduction strategies, reducing greenhouse gas emissions through decreasing loading on the power grid during peak hours, and improving management efficiency by automating previously manual adjustments to building systems. Although building management systems themselves are not new, our team approaches this challenge differently by using the knowledge gained by these systems to recommend energy-saving options and offers a solution to a range of buildings, from those with very little to no building management infrastructure to those with more extensive systems. Next, please. As our end users are building managers and operators managing both commercial and residential developments, we do this by staggering our solution to offer developments with minor to no building management systems a cheap and easily implementable system that offers guidance on energy saving measures based on a unique assessment of the building and notifications through the app of predicted peak demand events to give the building manager or staff time to implement these adjustments. For developments with some pre-existing building management systems, we recommend the expansion of IoT or Internet of Things sensors that our software can then monitor based on collected data, offer energy saving options, and issue warnings for predicted high demand events. Finally, for developments with intensive building management systems already in place, we hope to leverage this large amount of data to recommend effective energy saving strategies and automatically adapt building operations around high demand events to temporarily significantly reduce the building's energy demand and greatly reduce the associated greenhouse gas emissions and costs. In 2021, residential and commercial buildings made up roughly a quarter of Canada's total annual energy demand and 13% of its total greenhouse gas emissions. With many of these greenhouse gas emissions a direct result of burning gas or oil to heat buildings and water, switching to more environmentally friendly electric heating alternatives will only be truly effective at curbing emissions if we're able to minimize their impact on Ontario's energy demand, especially during peaks where fossil fuel energy sources make up a much larger portion of energy generation in the province. As such, we're aiming to work directly with building operations managers to offer tailored solutions that best fit their building's needs, with our program that is able to immediately connect to existing building management systems over a Wi-Fi connection. Next, please. The end goal of our solution is to offer an application available on Windows, Mac, and iOS that is able to issue alerts based on Ontario's Independent Electricity System Operator's 24-hour peak demand prediction tool, linking a customized building operations plan with temporary steps to reduce the building's energy consumption during a top 10 peak demand event. Additionally, we want to utilize existing on-site IoT sensors and install more where feasible to access and track the building's energy consumption. Our program is then capable of linking to these sensors immediately over Wi-Fi connection and breaking down the energy consumption and strategies, offering customized reduction strategies through our pattern recognition model. Favored strategies can be automatically or manually initiated at predetermined times or during peak events by building operators and managers directly on our application. Next, please. The University of Toronto's Mississauga campus is an excellent case study on how our app and program can result in significant energy and cost savings as well as greenhouse gas reductions. Roughly half of UTM's annual electricity costs are based on how much energy UTM uses when the demand on Ontario's electricity grid is at its highest. On a potential peak day, the UTM operations and sustainability teams receive an email alert from a peak tracking service on the likelihood of a grid peak and the 4-hour window in which it is expected to occur. The operations team then implements a list of demand reduction measures, including things like increasing temperature set points by a few degrees, lowering blinds on large windows, adjusting the tint on any electrochromic windows, and decreasing fan speeds for large air handling units. Over the past 3 years, UTM achieved a 17,000 kilowatt reduction in peak time energy use, amounting to 15 tons of carbon reduction and generating more than $1.6 million in bottom line savings. Our app and program will make it easier for building operators and managers to efficiently implement similar energy saving tactics without the hassle of having to develop their own individual predictive models, and could automate many of the more tedious demand reduction strategies often required. Up next, we've got a quick app demo from Leland showcasing our solution.
Can everyone see it? We're good? Okay, so I'll be doing the app demonstration for this project. So what it is an app that collects data from IoT sensors that would be mounted around a building in various locations and performs data analysis in order to issue suggestions for energy savings automatically. As was explained before, the IoT sensors are easily attachable to various points in the building and record energy usage data as well as other stats such as water usage, temperature, humidity, etc. These sensors will connect directly to the app via Wi-Fi, send the data through there. If the building has a capacity, the app can additionally connect directly to the energy management system in newer buildings with the right clearance. Now, they would normally be connected directly via JSON data and collect data over all the sensors at specific time intervals. But to illustrate the methodology for this demo, I will input the data myself manually to show you. So here's the main page. As you can see, the pie chart that represents the gross energy breakdown of different categories of amenities such as HVAC, lighting, outlets. You will see that in action in a second. So we can add an IoT sensor like so. These are the categories, it can be HVAC, lighting, outlets, doors, etc. Let's give it a name. And here we can add the timestamp, which is when the actual data has gotten to the sensor. Let's do that right now. That sounds good. Okay, then we have the energy usage in kilowatt hours and any additional information like temperature. Okay. And there you go. As you can see, the pie chart is beginning to be populated with some energy diagrams. You can see a full breakdown of the energy consumption with the gross energy from various categories of amenity. Here you can view all the IoT sensors and remove and modify them. Additionally, adding location data from the IoT sensors could also easily be added in future versions. Now, normally this would be going on for a long time with many IoT sensors with many data points to analyze. If we look at the charts page right now, you can see the average usage over time for one day. And you can see the trends and the energy usage for kilowatt hours. Right now, there aren't any peak traffic times identified, and there's a small trend since there are very few data points. But if we add a few more, give me a second here. Do some air conditioners.
And again, this page here, we're sort of manually entering the information for the sake of the demo, but this is where you would be able to connect with the pre-existing IoT sensors over Bluetooth, and it would automatically give you all this information.
And if we do one more, so, and we go back to here, we can see there's a peak time identified. Here it says the actual time where it found, the energy usage, and just like that. Here in the detected trends, it identifies what the actual trend is, which part of which category of amenity is usage, and the recommended action. Consider optimizing HVAC settings during peak hours, 8 a.m., for example. Now, this is just a bare bones proof of concept. In practice, much more analysis could be done for much more in-depth savings. With small change in energy usage during high demand times, this could potentially have massive amounts of energy savings and therefore GHG emissions and monetary savings. It is very simple, lightweight, easy to use, and would go lengths for energy savings in buildings. And that concludes my demo.
Thank you, Len.
One second.
We're just going to pull the PowerPoint presentation back up.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. In order to effectively roll out our solution, we aim to partner with the Building Owners and Managers Association, or BOMA, who have a track record of advocating for innovative strategies that drive the built environment forward and are known for providing resources and guidance to achieve these strategies. BOMA would be a key ally in getting building operators informed on our solution and offering expert guidance on how to best implement it. We also plan on offering detailed training guides based partially on our solution document to familiarize building operators with our program and its potential impacts. Finally, we would advocate for building managers to inform tenants of the program's implementation and to offer an awareness campaign on how they could get involved and contribute to the building's future sustainability. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. That was a really fascinating solution, and I admire just how in-depth they were able to go in 10 minutes and 5 days worth of work. I definitely have questions for you. I will Meredith go first. If you have any questions, Meredith.
Sure. Yeah, great job. And it is pretty amazing in 5 days to come up with all of this. So that's wonderful. One of the questions I had was, the solution sounds like it is mostly app related. Was there consideration in how a building manager or, how a building operator could implement, like what measures they could implement based on what the app is telling them and how, they can predict peak times and that sort of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. Also, we did it in an app format as that was sort of Leland's specialty, and he really took this on himself to get this done. We'd love to port it over to a Windows application. So once you have a lot of those IoT sensors installed and you can have them labeled for HVAC, etc. So if you see a peak for, say, HVAC is running super high during the day, at certain hours, it would highlight that trend, highlight the time period where that sort of exceedance is happening, and then sort of just measures you could do to reduce that level. We really wanted to sort of emphasize as well, linking it to that Ontario Independent Energy Provider. They have their own website where they offer a 24-hour prediction of when sort of top 10 Ontario peak demand events happen. So we would connect that into our application and offer a notification of whenever those events happen. and just any sort of strategies that the building operator could implement during those events would have massive greenhouse gas savings, as that's when really those sort of fossil fuel reliant plants are firing as well.
Okay, so would this mostly be an Ontario-based solution, or are there other like similar kind of options and monitoring happening outside of Ontario?
Yeah, I think the main basis for our project could be easily applied to different regions. Sort of like a simple thing like linking in that Ontario power prediction tool. Those types of tools and predictive open source softwares exist for other regions as well outside of Ontario or even the US. So it'd just be as simple as releasing maybe a regional variant, or just manually sort of switching that out for a regional dependent prediction tool. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Yeah, super cool.
Thank you.
Great job.
Looking at our time, I'm going to skip my questions. Meredith asked some really good ones. So now we'll take a 4-minute pause. So Meredith and I can fill out the scoring sheets, and I will pull up the presentation of group 7. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katie and Meredith.
Thank you.
Thank you.